Assalamu alaikum and a good day to all. My name is SOFIEA YAHAYA from JBC 2515E, and today I'm going to present a mini research on the asset and fund management during the pandemic. Before I start, I have made several research in collecting the data to support my research, and I have come up with several questions that guides towards my point of view in the asset and fund management during the pandemic. So the first question is what pandemic that occurred? According to the World Health Organization, COVID-19, or also known as coronavirus disease, is defined as an infection disease triggered by a recent identified coronavirus. This pandemic had made a huge impact to not only to the economy of a country, but also the financial stability and the health towards the people. With that, the next question that I have is what happened to Malaysia? Malaysian government announced the Movement Control Order (MCO) with the intention of preventing measures against the spread of COVID-19. It also triggered the SME both in the supply and the demand curve. The Malaysian's government domestic product, or also known as GDP, contract between 0.1% to 4.6%. The foreign direct investment, also known as FDI, the commodities and the tourism due to the impact of the Movement Control Order. As any other country would do in order to overcome and prevent the worst out of the worst in this pandemic, follows with the next question, and that is, what action did Malaysia take? As you can see, there are three main actions that was implemented and some still to continue till this day. First off, Malaysia government with Central Bank of Malaysia announced that a 6-month loan deferment will be implemented automatically from April 1st to September 1st, 2020. Another service provided is through the telecommunications industry, providing free internet access for all users from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. This initiative directly assists residents in accessing online learning from the comfort of their own homes. And lastly, Prihatin Rakyat Economic Stimulus Package, or also known as Prihatin, with the purpose to reduce the burden by companies and business firms such as the SMEs in Malaysia. As the government initiate MCO or lockdown towards Malaysia, the citizens are driven towards online shopping, overspending, and panic buying during this pandemic. Therefore comes the topic research what happened to the asset and fund management, especially during this pandemic. There are 3 points. The first is underestimate the expenses on non-necessity goods. Citizens are fully driven by their desire rather than driven with the need on necessity goods, such as the desire to buy goods in online shopping when they are full of promotions. The next point is insufficient emergency funds. Since we are ordered to stay at home, citizens are inclined towards online shopping as a coping mechanism in handling our stress, which has led to insufficient emergency funds when it's needed when the time comes. And lastly, the lack of discipline in executing the budget plan. As the MCO are still ongoing till this day, out of most people have created and tried to execute their budget plan. But as a human, we fail to discipline ourselves as when the MCO is lifted, the expenses will be spent without a doubt. Since we know what occurred to the asset and fund management during this pandemic, the next question is what action should be taken towards it? There are three actions. The first is managing personal debt. It is quite a challenge since not everyone has the knowledge in managing the financial problems, especially during this pandemic. The main two financial issues that most people face is the credit card payment and insurance claims. The following action under managing personal debt is to make research on what is your financial needs or to seek professional guidance. The second action is to plan personal budgeting. Technology has already advanced and has yet to be at its fullest, and everything is always at the end of your fingertips. So, with the help of the internet, there are numerous software to explore in creating your personal budgeting, which leads to the question what's stopping you to plan? The final action is personal investment. Personally, I believe that personal investment are not always a top priority to everyone, as risk will always be a major factor to consider upon in investing. In investment, the main tenets that an investor should be wary about is the diversification, to evaluate investment risk appetite, and to have a long-term investment point of view. The following action towards personal investment is to know one risk appetite, to feed yourself in knowledge of investment, either to invest on your own or to hire a reliable remisier. To conclude, my mini research in asset and fund management during this pandemic are divided into two prospects. As an individual or client, is to venture and gain knowledge in the basic understanding on managing personal debt, personal budgeting, and personal investment. As a professional financial advisor, is to seek an understanding to their income, their new approach of cash flow during this pandemic, and their risk appetite. We have come to the end. My name is SOFIEA YAHAYA. Thank you for listening. Take care and stay safe.